something goes wrong and we've got to go and get some cows in, the machine turns itself off, saves on hours, saves on fuel. A much more, shall we say, complete and well-rounded machine. And the amount of times people have been behind the machine and I'm going forwards and backwards. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today it is Monday and we've got these two machines on the farm. This is our MLT 630, which we've had on the farm for about a year now, and this one gets used every single day. So we've had it for just over a year now. It's been a great piece of equipment, and thanks to Manitou, they've just dropped off this new updated model. So this is the new model of the 630. The older model is a MLT 630 105V, so it has about 101 horsepower, and the new model is a 115, so it's got about 115, 116 horsepower, this one, and they've both got the same Deutz engine, and they are both Vario. So we'll just look today at the new model and see what's changed over the previous model. There's just a few little tweaks, a few little things they've done, which I really like, including a few little things like this reversing camera when you're looking down the side of the bonnet. There's also another reversing camera on the back, and there's also a really good LED lighting package. So there's a few nice little things they've changed and tweaked. It's got a little bit of extra horsepower, it's a little bit more responsive, and it's got the new JSM auto power, so it revs up its hydraulic system when it's operating with material. So we'll just try that out. This one has just got to go off and feed the cows. We'll put this on the fodder beet bucket, this can go back to the yard, and then we'll have a play with the new one and see how we get on. Alright, so looking at the new MLT 630, this one's fitted with the stage 5 compliant emissions equipment on it, and it also as well, the boom bracket, which normally sits at the back of the machine, I've noticed, has been moved to the front, and it's actually been put just to the side of the boom there, nicely tucked out of the way. So it's also got some lights to the side, some LED lights, and it's also on the side of the cab, I've noticed, at the back, just to light up things at night, and also when you're hitching up to trailers and things like that. And it's also got some spools, which I've noticed our one hasn't got that, so it's got a few little nice things. And look at that, a reversing camera. We'll just make sure that's nice and clean, and we'll give that a go just in a minute. So I've noticed as well the casing for this is slightly changed. It's just on our one, these are the other way up, and then obviously that final tier exhaust. So getting into the cab, it's the same as our current MLT 630, and something I do like, I'll just show you here. If I put the ignition on, the window goes all the way down. On our current model it stops at about here, so that's a big thing for me. That's a big deal breaker. That is really good. I'm really happy they've changed that on these new models. Something else as well is that when we activate the joystick on this new one, it's got what's called a capacitive joystick. So when my finger touches this button here, it knows that there is somebody there, and then it then allows you to use the joystick. On our current model, you can just get in and use the joystick, because it's an old version, whereas on this one, for health and safety, you have to make sure you put your finger just over that sensor there, so it knows that somebody's there for health and safety, which is a good idea. Leave a comment in the comment section what you think of this new model, and if there's any questions you've got about it. We've got it for a week, and I can answer all of your questions. This one's fitted with all of the lights. It's got the boom lights, the side lights, the front light, and the rear lights, and the fog lights. Full LED package. So if I press the bucket mode, I always press bucket mode just to get a little bit of extra lifting capacity. Notice as well, just when we put the windscreen wiper on, it's got a twin blade system. I think we did get the twin blade system fitted on our one, and I'm just thinking of anything else that's just changed in here. It's a very nice place to be. Something which you'll see now, I just think this is brilliant. Take the handbrake off, put our hand on the JSM joystick. At the moment, there's a joystick with a line through it, which means we can't operate it. If I then put my finger over it, it then goes to the parachute, so that means we can then use the machine. And if I knock it into reverse, watch the screen, we've got a reversing camera on there. So it just says transmission heating up. We'll just let the transmission heat up. So, I'll just flick the windscreen wiper on. We've allowed the transmission to heat up, so we can now move forward. We've just got it in first gear, which is, it's got a same gear system as what we've got on our current model. A low gear and a high gear, 1 and 2. If I push the bucket mode, I'll just whip over here, pick up my cherry spike, which I've just left in these bales at the moment. We'll go into reverse, and just down there on this screen, the camera's just showing me what's behind me. So I've got some silage bales and the trailer. And if I twist the screen when we're going backwards, if I just scroll the wheel, we've changed to the side of the machine, so I can see what's coming on the side of the machine there. Very good idea if you're going down narrow alleyways and livestock buildings, things like that. So if we just put our front light on, so I can't see very much on this dull day. So at the moment, if I go to the settings here for the hydraulic system, if we just go over JSM Auto Power, that's on. And what we're going to be able to do with that, if I just go back to the main screen, the machine is going to rev up in harmony with the hydraulics and the engine revs, if that makes sense. So just my foot's off the accelerator. When I use the joystick, it revs up there, and then we get a quicker hydraulic response so that we can use all three functions. And I've been getting away with just using the throttle on my current 630, just on the hand throttle, but one thing about this is it matches them perfectly. It really does, and it's also saving on fuel because I'm not revving all the time. It only revs when necessary to get optimum hydraulic flow, which is just brilliant. This is the sort of stuff you get on the much larger models, larger machines, but Manitou have brought it down to the smaller machines, and this is just absolutely fantastic. And you know, I was thinking we could maybe do with a larger model in the future years, and looking into the future, because our output now is a lot bigger on the farm. We're doing more jobs with a smaller machine, and I did ask Manitou, I would like to have a look at the 635, but actually, having driven this so far, I think this has got everything we would ever need on it. It's absolutely tremendous. The reversing cameras, the side cameras, the full LED lighting package, which is what I'd always wanted on our 630 over there. It's just absolutely fantastic. It really is a dream come true. So we will give her a go. So we'll go and get some bales. Steering is light and responsive. I'd say slightly lighter than our current one. You've just got that extra horsepower, about another 10 horsepower. It does make all the difference. Just at an idle, you know, the hydraulic pump is pumping out a little bit more, so it's using less revs to get the same amount of flow on our older machine. It's just absolutely tremendous. I mean, it's like using a larger Manitou, even though it's a small machine. It's got so smooth, so quiet, and yeah, really is up there. They've done a tremendously good job. So smooth, so precise, everything's very accurate. The hydraulics are responsive, I'd say by about 30%, 30% more responsive, which is just absolutely fantastic. We've currently been in dynamic mode there. I'm just going to change the transmission to comfort mode, so it will be even more comfortable than it is now. I already thought it was quite comfortable, but we were in dynamic, so go into comfort mode. Now we'll see what that's like. Oh wow, that's amazing. Tremendous forward and reverse change, but still comfortable. Not too jolty, just smooth. Yeah, just amazing. Just so effortless for it. You know, just in the yard there. Unbelievable. Okay, and something else I like about this new machine is it's got EcoStop. So say, for example, I get out of the machine, we're feeding some cows, something goes wrong and we've got to go and get some cows in. The machine turns itself off, saves on hours, saves on fuel, and then when you come back to it, you can start up again. The lights will go off, the ignition goes off, so you don't get a flat battery. I think that's absolutely fantastic. The amount of times, sometimes we leave the engines running in the yard and you're wasting fuel and hours, things like that. EcoStop, absolutely fantastic. You've got to have it. So another thing our current model doesn't have, and I think it's a brilliant improvement. Just every little detail with this, the cameras, the lighting package, the extra horsepower, the hydraulic response, the JSM Auto Power, which revs up, matching the hydraulics. Everything has just been really well thought about, and it just makes it a much more, shall we say, complete and well-rounded machine. Even things like the window going the whole way down. I like to, in the day, lean my arm on the window, and I'll show you on the old one. I just want to pop my arm on the window sometimes like that, and obviously it's on the glass, whereas in the new one, we put the window down, goes all the way down, and then when I'm around the yard or when I'm whizzing around, I like to just have my arm on the window like that sometimes, and that's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. You know, that's absolutely fantastic. The reversing cameras are absolutely brilliant. Being able to go backwards all the time when we're in the equine yard, there's people with horses, there's people on the farm, maybe electricians and plumbers coming in all the time, and the amount of times people have been behind the machine and I'm going forwards and backwards loading up the boiler, and I'm wondering like who's behind me. That is going to be an absolute lifesaver. And I think from a health and safety standpoint, I think every machine should have one of those. That is absolutely brilliant. And the fact that you can then swap to the side and see how close you are to a shed building. I've also been told by Manitou UK that you can rotate the camera around on the side, and you can have it facing forwards so that you can see your attachment when it's in front of you, and you can also look at cattle down your feedlot, so you're not hitting their noses or their heads as you're driving down. I think that things like that are actually brilliant. It's still a compact machine, and it's even more capable than the previous generation. It's even more capable, more horsepower, a better hydraulic response, better software. So because we're using our machine all the time, we really appreciate all of these details. I think if you weren't using your machine every day, you might not necessarily appreciate the effort that Manitou has gone to, but they really have. And we, like I say, will appreciate all of these features, and we'll use them every single day. And especially on a wet, miserable, overcast day as it is today, having things like a great cab with great visibility make a huge difference. And the heater down below, everything is just set up the way I would have it. Even the command arm with the seat there, I mean, it's like something you would get on a top of the range tractor. And yeah, I've been dying to get my hands on one of these for a long time. So absolutely tremendous. We'll try and put our name down for one, and maybe you'll see the new MLT 630 115V on the farm very soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.